This is Meri at TheMeriAtelier. I was setting up my camera. I think I'm going to be okay here. I may have to zoom in a little when I get started working. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. This is December 19th, Friday, December 19th. We have 7 more days of Christmas. 6 more days of Christmas. 6 more days of Christmas coming. I've been working on my December daily and having lots of fun doing it. I'm working on today's page, which is a shelf, I believe. There's a little gnome sitting up here, and I need to put the hangers up here. I'll probably put a bar up there. And I'm going to put a gnome on there, and then you're supposed to put other little Christmas things on there. So I'm going to work on this a little bit. I think on this page, I think what I want to do is a Santa Claus out of that vintage book that Paint Girlie sent me, a vintage Christmas ephemera. I find a Santa Claus, and I'm going to put an easel up here with a picture, and hopefully I can find one sitting. I may not. I'm going to make him painting. So welcome in, those of you who come in. I see 11 of you are out there. Oh my goodness, welcome in. Let me get set up and come out and say hello. I want to say before I do this, so let me turn on my tablet so that it'll get warmed up here while we're talking. I want to tell you that I missed Vanessa Angel Rose Designs gifted some memberships today, and I missed that. I was busy with my art. I caught Tina also gifts some things, and I feel so bad because I'm always missing Angel Rose when she comes in, and wouldn't you know it, as luck would have it, she gifted some memberships and I didn't notice it. I would not have noticed it if Carol would not have said goodbye to them and thanked each of them, and I'm going to Vanessa also gift memberships. So I messaged her and let her know how bad I felt that I missed that. So, and speaking of memberships, I'm going to try to do something before Christmas or right after Christmas, but next year my goal is to vamp up my membership offerings. Not going to vamp up the price will still remain the same. If you're new here, if you're received one of the more recent memberships, I want to welcome you in. And don't get discouraged if you don't see much out there yet. It's growing. It's growing. So I want to do something either before Christmas or just after Christmas. And we have a lot to get caught up on. Let me get out here and welcome everybody. Whoops, I got the wrong one here. Hold on. Now, it's being quite stubborn. Let me get out of YouTube and come back in. So I hope that your weekend is off to a good start. Yeah. I'm getting here. Hold on. I got to get to my channel. And to my live, there we are. And got 12 of you out there watching. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Let's start down at the bottom. There is Joyce Boring. Hi, Miss Joyce. And Linda. Hi, Linda. And Legia. Becky says, I may get on my phone for a bit, but may also just fall asleep. Becky, if you have to fall asleep, you just fall asleep. I understand, totally understand. Totally. And that goes for everybody else in here. It's a very busy time of year. I know Becky's been she was showing these items that she made for Scott for his Christmas, something to do with his work. And I guess her little chocolate baskets went over really good. So Becky's been quite busy. I think you made a fruit cake, didn't you, Becky? Plus, there's Scott's mother. Of course, I don't know exactly what's going on there, but Scott and Becky take care of Scott's mother, make sure that she's okay and has what she needs. And I know Becky's drives her to doctor appointments. She said it was, but I found the fabric I was looking for. What? You found the fabric you were looking for? Well, that's a good thing. No fruit cake this year. Oh, somebody made fruit cake. I don't know who. Maybe I was just watching a video. Somebody making fruit cake. I bought my fruit cake, but it's produced by a local bakery, and it's really good fruit cake. My brother likes it, too. And when he likes it, I know that it's good because he's kind of finicky on that stuff. I just have a piece for breakfast in the morning with my breakfast and coffee, and I have a fruit cake. I try not to eat 10 pieces at once. I could, but I try not to. Let's see. Legia says, fruit cake. Elise, hi Elise, welcome in. Elise said, I did my fruit cake. You made your own fruit cake, Elise? And I'll bet it was good. Let me tell you, that Elise is a very talented artist. And if you cook as well as you do everything else, art-related, your fruit cake is going to taste good. Oh. Becky says, I would have made my fruit cake in November, as always douse mine with spiced rum, and it needs a month to mellow. I don't know if there's, I think this fruit cake has maple in it. I don't think they put a liquor in it. I could be wrong. Maybe there's liquor in it, and that's why I like it. I'm not a drinker. I will, like if we go, I used to, like if I went out to dinner with my colleagues when I was working and they had a drink, I would get a small one, but I don't drink as a general rule. But maybe that fruitcake had something in it. Oh dear me. Lucia says, oh, that sounds delicious, Becky. All right, so let's go back up. Linda is here. Welcome in, Miss Linda. And I think I saw Joyce in here. Legia. Joyce Boring. Becky. Those bins are heavy. Becky said, hi guys, I just wanted to say hello. I'm going to get a heating pad on my neck. I spent the day going through my fabrics and reorganizing my yarn and fabric stash. Well, there you go. The bins are heavy. I was going to go to town this afternoon, but on Fridays, when I stream in the morning and then stream at night, it does not work for me to go to town during the day. I come home, I'm totally exhausted. So I told my brother's been wanting me to help him get, he's made those airplanes and everything out of pop cans, and he wants to gift some to his grandchildren and to that family. And he has some nice things, let me tell you. He gifted a semi to the, I'll just say to the husband, because this is the guy that runs the grocery store, or he owns the grocery store and runs it. And so he gave him a Budweiser semi, liquor store, but he wanted a semi. And he kept saying he was going to give his granddaughter a piano. And I was thinking, well, she'd probably want a race car rather than a piano. But I'm going to sneeze. 1, 2, 3. Excuse me. The piano, after I saw what he did, I'm going, wow, this is nice. I mean, he had like a baby grand piano, and it even had the little pedals, the little pedals at the bottom, and he had a piano bench, and it was really nice. It probably was about 6 inches square, took up about a 6 inch. Well, I would say it probably took up this is a little bit more than 6 inches. Probably took up this area, and he did an excellent, excellent job on it, and I kind of hope she takes that rather than the race car. But I don't know. They'll surprise you sometimes of what they like and what they don't like. And then his grandson farms, so he got a tractor and farm equipment, a windmill, and I don't know what else he put in that box, but I had to go digging out my stuff to get to his stuff in this room. And then he had a box upstairs in his room upstairs while I blocked the door up there with boxes and books as I was cleaning, and it got so cold. In early November, we had that really cold, and we don't heat that upstairs, so I just left it up there, and he said, I can't get in my room. So I had to go up there this afternoon and straighten all that mess out so he could get into his room. I've got to get up there when it gets warmer and straighten things out up there. It's a job. It's a job. It's an attic up there is what it is. So, excuse me. And then I thought he wanted to get in this little back closet. Well, I have this shelf up between desks, and I took all that down. I think he just wanted to see in that closet. He wanted to see, he knew I worked in there. He wanted to see what I did. And I took it all down, got it all ready for him to go in there and check out where his airplanes were. And he said, well, I don't want anything. I said, there go, I have to put everything back together again. Okay, Legia's here. Let's see, who else have I missed? Elise, Joyce, and Ad. Oh, I can't go up any further. Where Elise says, hi, Meri, good evening. Maybe she was the first one. So welcome in, everybody. It's good to see you. I think what I want to do here, let's get that little vintage Christmas book out and see if I can't find a Santa Claus and a... Whoops, we're going to have a crafty lunch again if I'm not careful. I tend to stack things up over here. This is the book I'm working in. And I did not get to town. I have to go to town tomorrow. I just have to. And this book of vintage Christmas ephemera is what Paint Girl Lori sent me. And I want to see, I disassembled it tonight. I'm going to save these little things out, like I might want these candy canes. Oh, we'll see. And then this is going to go on a page. What I'm going to look for, what I want to see is a Santa Claus that I can convert into him sitting or standing in front of an easel. And maybe one of these pictures that I'll put on the easel and he'll be painted. Now he is standing there, but he's a little small. This would be the easel size here, the picture on the easel. That's what I'm going to put on the other side here. I don't want to spend a lot of time on it tonight because I want to do my gingerbread cookies. Now here he's standing. He's got a basket of flowers here, but I almost could make that into an easel. Just put a easel shape there and put a paintbrush in his hand. I like that one. I'm going to pull that out. And I think see, I get to looking at these. I think that's going to be maybe I'll put a tree in the background or something. I'm on like a living room. That will be too small. I need a larger tree. I love this old automobile here. That's going in here somewhere. And I want to record it in my writing journal. I planted an amaryllis plant today. Let's see. I want something that looks like a living room. Let's kind of go through here. And these, I think these get smaller as I go back, and then they go into, of course, this could be like a rug. Let's save that one out. It's not in a living room though. And then these are all, at the back are all full sheet. Let's go back this way and see if I can find a fireplace that suits me. Hold on. Here. How big is he here? That could work. Put my Santa Claus over this way and the room, the fireplace over this way, and put an easel up there with him. All right, I'm going to pull this. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time. Oh, look, this one. Here we go. This one's much better. We'll pull that one. All righty. I'm going to pull that one too, just for the fun of it. And over here, I'm going to have to make a little gnome of Ruby Rose. I'm not going to do it tonight, though. I think what I'll do first is take and glue these on and let them dry. And I was thinking they need to hang like this. So I'll have, let's see, if I go there, let's just cut that. And I'll probably have to cut this. I learned from Miss Becky that if you want these to curve, you just cut one of the bottom threads here. Let's see which one I want to trim. This one, I think. You don't cut them both, Mary. Ouch! Ooh. Got a sharp pain in my leg. It felt like a mosquito bit me. There we go. So I'm going to glue this like it's hanging on the wall. I'll probably put a gray, well, I might have to cut that. It's not gonna lay flat for me. Well, if I pull it a little higher, it might. Like that. No. But what I need to do is put a gray pole across that way. I'll come back to that. Let's do this one. See, I pulled them, didn't I? Yes, I did. So I'm going to put the living room in here. I'm going to cut out the Santa Claus. And then I need to make an easel. So I planted an amaryllis plant this afternoon. And we did that a couple years ago, and it did really well just in our kitchen right underneath the... He's got like a light that's above a fan with the 4 different lights in the kitchen. And let's see, I think I'll go for the little scissors. So we got that done. I have another little pier here that I need to oil these. They're kind of stiff in there. All right, we're just going to fussy cut him out here. Kind of rough cut him. And I helped my brother get all his stuff together, and he was hunting boxes to put everything in. And I told him, I said, because he's got great-grandchildren too, and he doesn't have airplanes for all of them. And I said, when you give those airplanes and those items to your grandkids, you need to make sure that the little ones aren't around because they'll want some too. And he said, I don't know how I'm going to do that. I don't know either. They'll think that they'll get a present too from Grandpa, great-grandpa. He likes the little ones, but I don't think those airplanes are not toys. And the kids will want toys because they're kids. And what we should do is just go to town and buy them some toys. I don't even know how many grandkids are going to be there. I know his granddaughter just had a little girl about a year ago. I think she's a year and a half old. And his grandson just got married. So they don't have kids yet, but then there's other extended family. There's always kids in that house, especially on the holidays. And she loves it. She's his ex-wife's son's ex-wife. Oh, it's hard to explain. But they call him Grandpa, and he calls them grandchildren, so I guess that's all that all that matters. So Santa's going to be painting an easel in this room. And then they're going to have a shelf over here. I kind of want it. Yeah. That's how I want it. Yeah. So y'all getting ready for Christmas? Got your Christmas on? Do you have your Christmas on? I need to cut this part out up here. Oh, he's going to be holding a paintbrush in this hand. Let's just get him cut out. We got to cut this out over here. Now he's going to be holding a palette. Where this sack is going to be a paint palette. So I'm going to cut this holly off here. I don't need it. I thought I'd stay home and bake cookies tomorrow, but that's not going to happen. I can't do everything. I didn't go today. I was tired, though. I was tired, and I knew that if I tried to stream in the morning, go to town in the afternoon, and then stream in the evening, that I wouldn't make it. I would have probably skipped my evening stream. And I didn't want to do that. I want to be out here talking to you all. Okay. Now, let's cut this out. I think I'll tear it. I kind of like tearing. Actually, I think I can leave that. No, I think I'll tear. I might use this strip for that pole. And I might not. So Santa Claus is in the living room. And I'm going to put a rug down here. I pulled that other piece of paper. Where did I put that? I pulled it, didn't I? Yeah. Whoops, no, that's not it. Did I not pull a rug? I said this would make a nice rug. It's up in here. Where are they? Maybe I did pull it. I don't see it. All right, we got this one. I want that one. It was a long... I thought I pulled it, and it doesn't look like it's in here. What did I do with it? Oh, here it is. I thought one of these would make a nice rug. Right at the front. And let's see. Let's just put that off. Which one do I want to use? Which one is he going to be standing on? It's kind of wild. That one's even more wild. Maybe that isn't such a great idea. It has to go. That'd be a pretty wild rug, but maybe I could just trim out a piece in here. Well, that's not going to work. Those are too wild for me. Maybe the rug could be something like this. Wouldn't be quite as wild. Let's see what. Now I'm. Let's go back to my book in the back. Maybe something back in here would make a nice rug. I don't know about that one. One of those. I think we're getting back into the pictures here. Let's test them out. And see, he's going to be working on an easel here. So there's that. I'm going to do it this way. Have half and half. Or just them there. I don't like that. I kind of like this. Hannah, where you going? Come back here. Like that. I think I like that. Or we could maybe go, no. Well, we could go that way. No. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to tear it right here. Could use some of Jacqueline's dyed paper too, but we're going to use this. Okay, that's going to go there. Just take this out. I'm done with that. That's going to go there. This is going to go up here. I'm going to have to tear it to fit. And then Mr. Claus is going to go in here, and I'm going to put an easel. And I could almost put him standing on a rug, like that, or something similar. And then I need an easel. That's green, the brown one. I don't know if I can get 3 decent pieces out of that or not. Doesn't have to be perfect. Actually, I need 3. Put a wider piece on that. Dropped it. I want to work on my gingerbread cookies, so I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this. Not my gingerbread, but my cinnamon cookies. And I bought some steel tape. I want to try to make a cookie cutter. They said it was for arts and crafts. And then there's one behind that's shorter. Maybe to there. And I'm going to open it here tonight, but I'm not sure how it's going to work. I'm going to cut maybe this smaller piece for and it'll be green. Now, he needs to come over a little, or this needs to go. I'm just kind of auditioning it right now. We'll just put that there, and then I need to put a picture in there. And I was thinking one of these smaller ones. What did I do with them? One of these smaller ones he's going to be painting. I'm not sold on those. Let's see what else I have here. I need to put these other things back anyway. These. Painting a landscape or an angel. I like the idea that he's painting one of these two. I think I'll paint him painting the little cottage. Use that. So you can do a lot with this ephemera. This is a gift from Lori, Paint Girly. Thank you, Lori. And if you popped in here while I'm busy, I can't art and talk at the same time. I'm not that talented. There are some people who do a good job at that. I'm not one of those. So I welcome you in. I know I miss a lot, and I apologize for that. But I'm a slow craft anyway. I'm slow at what I do anyway. Let's just thin this one down a little more. I thought about making a list tonight, but I have so many other things I want to do. And we're going to put the bones on this page, and then I'll come back and add my touch to it later. We'll paste these elements down, and then I want to get working on the cookies. So this is going to come in. Well, it covers up the... Let's bring it down a little. Well, let's do this. Let's take start gluing this stuff down. And I can place it better. I might have to go for a smaller image after all. Otherwise, it's going to cover up that beautiful fireplace. And so this is the back of this. So flip it over, so I'll need to leave at least a ½ inch over here. So when I put my page on, I need to make sure I leave space. So maybe right there. And this will come down in here. I like that. So, and I've been using glue stick. Let's use the glue stick. Oh, where's my book that I use for And this is a Pen Plus Gear from Walmart. I find these are pretty good glue sticks. I won't guarantee that the last 5 years without drying out with the on the pages, but I like to stick them on them. Whoops. Okay. I hear a choo-choo train coming down the track. Is that going to be good? Yeah, I think so. No, maybe I should put this up here, though. It coordinates with what's underneath of the chair. Kind of the rug area there. And I'm just going to put these elements on tonight, and then I'm going to move on because I want to roll out those cookies tonight, or the cinnamon ornaments, because I want to put them on the wreath that I'm going to kind of look. I know you can make your own artificial snow out of like borax, and we do have borax, but I was thinking I would get some artificial snow. Do you guys have any opinions on artificial snow? Have you guys used any of that? We used some of it when I was a kid, but I haven't used any artificial snow as an adult. And I want something that will look nice on my wreath. All right, so there's that. Now my easel, I think I'm going to have to set up a different, well, I could move it down further this way. See, my picture, I think, is going to be too big. Although I could have it down further, like that. And the Santa standing here. That might work. And this needs to turn over, I think. No, let me. Trim this a little. Oops, I cut it. I'm not going to trim it. I cut it. My shaky hands. Doggone it. Oh, I'll put it this way. Oh, no, I want it this way. I'm going to put it way down at the bottom. I'm going to put that on with my fine liner. Because I try to glue that, it'll tear. So if I do a line, I'm going to put it way, I could even have it come way down. And Santa Claus too, so I'm going to start a line and do it right from this point to the edge of this present. That's kind of my, I'm going to see if I can do that. Let's start here. need a towel. And I'll probably come in with my pen and enhance that a little. Now I've got a shorter one that will go in the back. And I can make that a little taller. It won't. Although it should. Let's hold off on that for a minute. Let's try this one. It needs to angle enough that Santa Claus is working on it. So I might have to make that shorter yet. It needs to angle. Although that's not bad. And then Santa could be down in here, but I need a smaller picture. The picture needs to be about this size. I mean, he needs to be up a little. All right, we'll deal with that in a minute. Let's go ahead and these aren't by any means perfect. I might trim that a little up here at the top. And then this one will come this way. This one should go this way a little more though. So it's going to come from that here to almost to the bottom of there. So let me do an imaginary line there. My glasses falling off my nose. And then this little guy, I'm going to put down like this. You get the idea. That's all. That's all that matters. It doesn't have to be perfect perspective. It's just an art journal page. Let's make it down lower. Maybe over a little. Yeah. Now I need the, what did I do? Oh, I used it. Well, where's the green one that I had? I don't know if I need a, let's cut a thin. This was supposed to be the crossbar, but we're going to make it the back. And it's going to end right there. Kind of collaging together a little scene here. Most of that won't show because I'm going to put a picture there, but I think this one's way too big. Although, if you put Santa there, put Santa right there, holding a paintbrush, it might work. I think I'll leave it that way because I cut it out. I'm going to use it. I'm going to use it. The Santa's going to be right in here. He's going to hold an easel here and a paintbrush here. And I might, his glove kind of blends in with the, I might make his gloves red. They blend in with the rug. And I'm going to go ahead and put him down. I have to tell you, when I was, it was in, what, year 2000? And my cousin's wife, they lived out, my cousin is like way older than me. He's in his late 80s now. But when we were younger, and I was younger in 2000, they invited me out for a Colorado Christmas. They lived in Loveland, Colorado. And they invited me out there, and I went. And it went at Christmas. We had a good time. And they took me to see the graves of some of the family. And, oh, you know, I thought I would put that rug under him. Too late now. But he had to go, he and she made a perfect Mrs. Santa Claus, and he makes a perfect Santa Claus. And they go to, like, the libraries in the school and read to the kids. Well, they had an appointment to go that afternoon to go and read to the kids. And so here we were out at the grave site, him in his Santa Claus uniform on one side of the grave, and I was standing on the other side. It was my grandparents, I think, either my grandparents or my great-grandparents. And she took a picture and sent it to me later, and I laughed and laughed and laughed at Charles in his Santa Claus uniform at the grave site. And they probably got a big laugh out of it, too. Now, I need an easel. A piece of scratch paper here I could use for that easel. Let's see what I have up here. I have all sorts of stuff. These are going to go back in the book for another time. So let's just put the book there. Here's the book that we're working from. And here's some sandpaper. And here's just some scratch paper. Some green from Jacqueline. What's this? Probably I might put that in there. It came from Rebecca. Let's see if I can find something for an easel. Where's he at? Oh, I covered it up. Hold on. That might work. Cut an easel shape out of this. And it could work for the paintbrush too. So let's put this stuff back. And every time that I'm looking at photographs and I see that one, I get the biggest kick out of it. So I'm just going to kind of sketch a, let's see, he's holding, you can't see his hand, oh, his hand is over here. So if I make the easel, white pen. Where did it go off to? So, kind of make a little holder there, and the easel will come around, maybe something like that. And maybe there'll be, what, a thumb hole up here? Well, I guess the thumb hole would be down in here. And I'll put some paint on there. I might do this more than once. These are those scissors that stick. Now, I don't mind if the white lines are on there. I could leave it like that. I don't, it was meant to go, I can't get a hold of it. It was meant to go this way. Where's his hand? His hand is there. It's got a little holly sticking out there, but I can take care of that. I'm gonna put it on the back here. Whoops. Oh, I got gold on there. Let's see. I want it so, let's see, it's this way. So I need to draw it on this side. And I'm going to try to, let's see, which do I need to expand? Right here. So I need to expand this side. So if I put it here as close as I can. And where's my pen? Of course I put the cap on it. Can't see it. This will be the back side of it. Figure out where it is. And it needs to be wider over on this side. So I'm going to widen it out over here. Of course my pen's going fluey on me. And I think I'll leave the thumb hole off. Let's try this. Oh, I got some Happy Mail. Oh, phooey, I didn't bring it in. I don't know what I did with it. I got a card from Linda Rentz, if you're out there listening, Linda. I got a card from, who else sent me? I got 3 or 4 cards in the mail today. Forgot all about those. All right. So this goes, that may be too big. His hand is there. That's too big, so let me trim that down a little. I think it's a sack. You got paint all over your sack, Santa. Huh. Now my pins. Will that be? Yeah. There we go. And I'm going to paint Santa's glove red. So, and I'm going to put paint splatters on there. Now he needs a paint brush. And I'm going to cut out of this. And his other hand is here. That's a pretty big, looks like a club. Oh dear. Let's cut that down a little. What are you beating up on that picture for? I didn't mean to. Still is a little big. Let's cut it down a little more. Because I'm going to put the brush part on. There we go. So let's glue these down. What time is it? 8:30. I want to stop on this pretty soon and get out the they call it gingerbread. Get out the cinnamon ornaments. What do I do with that towel? Oh, I guess that's just glue. A little bit of that ornament, I'll cover it up with red. Alright, there's his easel. Now you can't see it as an easel. I'll probably be putting some lines in there and putting paint on there. And this is going to be the paint brush, and I need a bristle for it yet. But I'm going to glue this part down, and then I think I'm going to stop because I want to work on my ornaments tonight. And if I could sit and do this stuff all night. There we go. So this is as far as I got on this. I'm going to save that out and throw these little pieces away. And we're going to get out the cinnamon stuff. I want to show you what I think I'm going to do for the... I'm going to try to make a cookie cutter of my bird. Which means I need to find my bird pattern. He's right here. So I'm just going to set this aside. This will go... let's get my pages out here. And then I'll come out and look at chat before I get started on that other stuff too. Because I don't want to... Alright. This one goes here, and this is going to be a shelf. You can kind of see the shelves. I'm going to have little ruby rose here. It had a gnome. And I'm going to hang some hangers on this. They had them hanging, and then I'm going to put little things, Christmas, on the shelves. I'm going to have a bar up here, because I don't want them just, if they're hanging, they have to hang on something. And it's just going to be a shelf, and then I'm going to enhance this side a little bit more, so it's a little bit, pops out a little bit more. So this is day 19. This is day 18. So I decided to, I decided to start yesterday at the day that it was, and then work backwards. So this is a tag. So what happens here, what do I have here? This is day 1 here. Day 1. This is day 2. I want to come in, and maybe those circles cut out those circles of art that in that vintage Christmas book. This was a bulb. Decorate this bulb, and I just used some pattern paper out of my Get Crack-a-Lackin' book. And this was the recipe page, and I used the page for the little cinnamon ornaments here. Now that recipe made these cookies, and I'm going to thread this. There's a hole there, and this I'll probably hang out on the tree or do something with. I'm not going to put this on the wreath. I'm going to make some more birds. This is this size tonight to put on that wreath that I'm upcycling. And I got the little gingerbread boy here too. So there are those, and I think that was day 3. Day 4 is a list, and I want to do day 4 with you guys maybe Sunday night, because it's make a list, and I think I want to make a group list. So that's day 4, and then so I skip way over here to day 18. $22, $20. All right, this is page 16. I don't know what I did with 17. It's in here. This is the back of page 17. And this is day 18 here. And then you flip it, and this is today's, which is day 19. I don't know what I did with day 17. I might have glued over it. I'll have to check and see. I haven't sent Lala her books yet. I'll have to check to see what 17 is before. Maybe I'll take a picture of it. 25. And it only goes to day 25. Those are all in order. So this goes here, this goes here, and here. And I'm missing day 17. That's 16. I probably have it here. This is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I might have glued over 17. I don't know what I did. I'll have to see what the prompt is, and I'll jot it down. So there we go. I'll get this done even if I have to work into it next year. And this is the front page of this. I'll probably put a title page on there. And I don't care how bulky my journal will get. It will get bulky. But I'm going to do, if I do the other seasons, I'm going to do everything in a volume. Let's put this back in here. Let's get the scrappies. Oh, that's sandpaper. Do I want these? I don't think I want these. I want this one. I'll throw those away. And I got fabric out here this morning when I was building the shelf. And I'm just going to fold that up. I got another piece here. And I want my... Sometimes I mix those pages up in other things, but I didn't notice them in here. I'll find it. What's going on with that one? I want to keep these two together. And I'm going to put these up above. Put my pencils away over here, my little pieces. Okay. So, what I'm going to do is wet down my desk area, get out some wax paper. Spread that around on my desk. That will hold my wax paper down while I'm working. See if I can tuck some of this under over here. Angie, I need a box. The bowl is overflowing. I need an Angie box. All right, we'll just stuff it all there. Whoops, I don't want that under there. Get out of there. There we go. So I've been moistening the gingerbread. Or I call it gingerbread, it's cinnamon. It's really like, the recipe is like a salt dough. It's got salt and flour and cinnamon and water, I guess. I'd have to look at the recipe. Let me go over and grab it. Here, bring it, the little cart that I have it on over this way. I mixed it up online last week sometime. Was it last Sunday night that I did these? No, I think it was later than that, earlier than that. But here's the dough. But before I get started on it, let me stand up and grab this. Of course, it's out of my reach. I got off of Amazon, and I bought it blind because I didn't know what I was getting. I knew what I wanted, and from the description I thought it might work. Now I also brought in my old gardening gloves. We're going to set this aside for a moment. And I'm going to put this up here. Get it out of the box. And I brought in my gardening gloves because they said be very careful how you open it and how you handle it. because it can spring open. And my gardening gloves are dirty because I worked in the garden, but I wanted something that would not, that would, if it cut me, would cut the gloves and not me. See how dirty my gardening gloves are? But these are really nice ones. They're nice gloves. I got them at Menards. Cost me $25, $26, probably more expensive now. And this box opens up somehow. Oh, it tucks in. It tucks in here. Now it's in a package right now, but they said be very careful how you open it. So I'm going to put my gloves on just for safety's sake, because I don't want it to spring open and cut me. I may not need this, it may be unnecessary, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. I don't want any cuts. And it said that it's wound tight, so they said be very careful how you open it. So you guys might see a bleeding lady here. Shut your eyes if you're scared. See if I can cut it with these gloves. Get a hold of it with my scissors. It doesn't feel that sharp, but I'm sure that they put that as a warning, so I'm more worried about it springing open than cutting my edges, because they said it's wound very tight and it has some spring to it. I gotta turn that fan toward me. Get some air. Getting my big fat fingers in these scissors is a trip. Now they said that you can cut this with craft scissors, and I don't have my Tim Holtz ones close to me. They're behind a pile of boxes. Now it looks like it's got tape holding it together. So after I get this wrapping, there's tape right here holding it together. So I think the unwrapping it will be safe. I'll have to be careful how I take that tape off. So I'm safe for a few minutes here. I'm just going to cut that. I'm trying to be careful. I might not need this much caution, but the instructions scared me. So I just want to get this stuff cut off here. I'm cutting somebody's hair. Get that out of the way. My brother would probably know about that. And it looks like there's tape on the inside here too, holding it together. Let's bring it down here and cut it this way rather than cut it over the tape. But what I want to do is to form it in the shape of that bird. I don't know what I did with my bird. Oh, he's over here by my desk, by my tablet, so he's out of the way. And I don't know, I've never used this before, so I don't know how. They said it's flexible, but they say it has some spring to it, so shaping it might be we'll see. I need a, I could maybe take these gloves off, but I'm afraid because I don't know what I'm working with. Better to be safe. They really have it wrapped up. And I may be just overly cautious here, but I don't want to cut myself. And when you don't know what you're working with, it's better to, there we go. Now see, it has a tape on it. So that's what I'm going to have to be careful with. There, you see it does have a spring to it. So I think if I just carefully unroll this, I think the spring is out of it. Well, it's still going. They warn you about it. There. Now, let's just see. I don't have a tape measure in here with me, but I could use a string. I want to see how much this bird is going to need. I want to make a cookie cutter, and I've never done this before, so we'll see if this happens. It's really wider than what I envisioned. I would imagine I would need it twice the length of the bird and twice the length of the, well, maybe not twice the length of the tail. I think the tail will fit. So the bird measures where's number one? The bird measures from the head to the tail 5 inches. But I might need a little bit more to hook those together. So I'm going to cut this 8 inches and 8 inches just for the sake of the width. And then I've got the tail itself here is 1.5 inches, an inch and a half. So if I bend this, and I don't know how it bends, They say that's as sharp, but I don't feel it being that. I suppose if you ran your hand that way, it would be sharp. I think I'll cut a piece of this off. Let's see if my regular scissors will cut it. And I'm going to play with it and see. Oh no, my scissors aren't going to cut that. Oh my. I might have to get out. I might have to get my brother's scissors. They said household scissors would cut it, but they probably meant good ones. I doubt that my little Sizzix will cut it. I'll have to hunt out my other Sizzix. I can't even get my fingers in there. That's not the one I want. Where's the other one? Can't get a hold of it with my gloves. I don't know if my Sizzix will cut this. My Sizzix cuts it. It's like cutting a pop can. So I do think you'd want to use a pair of strong gloves. Avoid cutting yourself. I'm going to cut a longer piece just to play with. And what I want to do is test. And I want to test how it curves and how it folds. All right, I'm going to get this big piece off. I think the spring is out of it. I think it's open enough that... And I'm going to put this down below, out of the way. I want to see how it folds. Now my brother, who works with those pop cans, would probably know better. And so I didn't cut that straight because, let's see if I can, I don't know what this is going to do to my poor little scissors. And I'm not going to play all night with this. I'm just, whoops, boy, it shot off. I want to see how it folds. Well, that's the... Probably have to score it somehow. My brother would know. I think I'll be asking his advice. Maybe with my pliers. That might be too small of a piece to work with. Get my pliers out. I would think I would have to score it, but I don't know if I want to use my scissors to point to score it with. I'm going to see if I can't bend it enough to curve it. See, the bird needs a curve. And I don't think that's going to open up. And see, what I'm thinking is I want to make a cookie cutter. Now, the other thing I'm thinking is I might want to fold this in half because that's a pretty tall cookie cutter. Now, it'd have to go this way, and that's at least 2 inches. Either fold it in half or... But I don't think folding it in half is going to work very good. I don't think you'll get a nice fold in there without scoring it. It's a nice curve. So I might have to cut it vertically. And then after that, after I get it shaped like I want, like I could see this being 1 inch tall. It's 2 inches tall now. But I could see it being cut this way. My brother could probably teach me how to do that. And then curve it, but it's got to have a curve around the head, and then there's the beak. Now for the beak, what I thought I could do is just leave a gap there and cut the beak out of the, but that's going to have a pretty interesting curve. I don't know if I can get a shape of a bird. I might have to change my bird shape. Now, I'm going to get my pliers out and see if this might just be a little bit too strong. It didn't cost me much. I wanted to play with it, but you know, you could do other shapes too. Yeah, the bird is, even though it looks simple, the back is simple. Now this curve is too curvy for the back. I was going to see if I could fold this. I think it's not going to fold very well. I was going to see if I could use my pliers to grip it that way. It's going to spring open. It's got a nice spring to it. It makes a nice square. Let's try it this way. I need something just a little bit thinner than this. This has got some, as you try to fold this, it's got a little bit of a spring back to it. Yeah, I'm using my gloves. Looks like my gloves are, no, that's just the thread. These have been good gardening gloves. I've had them for a couple years now. Let's see if I can't just bend this. Bend it in the middle a little. So I'm just kind of testing to see what this, how this reacts. Get my finger out of it there. I don't think it folds too well. So I think the folds are going to kind of be out of the question, but it might fold enough to make a nice corner. I'll have to get my brother to, he'll say, go cut a pop can. And that might be a good idea too. An aluminum pop can, I might try that. But I wanted to try this. Now see, that did flatten out enough. That did flatten pretty good. And that's this folded in half. But I wouldn't want to fold an entire piece. I would probably cut it. I just wanted to test and see. I wanted to test. You don't know until you test. I think this is just a little bit stronger metal. I like that I could cut it and see what I would do. What I would do when I got it cut in half is I would put tape on both sides of it or something, something to blunt that. I think they even recommended filing it down a little. But on this side, I'd want it pretty sharp to cut the, let's see how sharp it cuts paper. A piece of paper here. Well, it didn't cut the paper. Oh, it did right here. So it's pretty sharp. It's sharp as my scissors. So I'd have to be careful of that. But you'd want it sharp to cut the dough. So let's experiment. I'm going to draw a line with my, I don't know if the ink will stay on this or not. Let me put this back here. I don't want to lose this paper. It's my other tag. I'm looking for my ruler. And I'm just going to kind of guesstimate on this. I'm not going to marky mark. I want to see how it cuts in half. I need my pen. Oh dear. We'll use this one. I think I will mark it. Things out of the way. How I get all this stuff in the way, I don't know. Oh, this is supposed to be 2 inches. So 6 to 8, it looks like 2. So 7 is right there. I got all this stuff over here. I'm afraid of it. I'm afraid I'm going to cut myself. 7, 8. I'm going to put my gloves back on when I work with it. I want to see if I can cut a strip of it. And then I'm going to see if I can tape it with tape. They had theirs with, looked like a paper tape, but I'm thinking that carpet tape. I'll put my gloves back on. I'm done with my ruler. And then I'll get my dough out and do my birds. I'm going to do my birds by hand. But I want to experiment. Now, I may not do the, after I experiment here, I may decide that this head shape for this material might be a little too stiff to go around that head. I might go back online and see if I can't find some, or a pop can. My brother would say, use a pop can. I'll say, would you like to make me some cookie cutters? If I give you the design, now he might do that too. If you ask nice, and you know, he gets bored. Yeah. I think he'd do good. I don't want to cut my gloves. I need my bigger Tim Holtz scissors. I think cutting this in half might be a challenge. But I'm doing it. I just got to figure out the process here. Maybe I'll go halfway, and I think I could cut a strip to go around that bird. Probably ruining my scissors. Let's see, if I keep this and keep that underneath my hand. I had it going inside my hand. How did I do that? I think I'll start over here. Now this is not aluminum, this is steel. There we go. Okay. So what I want to test, see, I cut through that paper there. I want to test, See, that's going to have some spring to it. And you would probably want that to, I think that it would spring out of even out of tape. But it'd make a nice round circle. Well, maybe if I just keep shaping it. Curving it. And I don't know if heating it would, I don't know anything about that type of process. You wouldn't want to heat it too much, you burn your fingers. Let's see if I can't curve this a little this way. Just give it a little bend. I don't think you could make small circles with it. You might be able to make a 3-inch circle. See, I'm giving it a little bit of a curve so that when, and what you really need is some sort of a weld. My brother would weld it. See if I can't just see it wants to open up again. But I'm wondering if that tape is strong enough to hold this. It's a nice circle. But I don't need a circle for the bird. See, the bird flew away. He was over here by my tablet. He flew away. He's on the floor, so, oh, he's here. See, the bird curves. So I'd want it to curve this way and then curve out again. And I'm not sure that this is shapy enough to do that. I'm not sure, because it doesn't have the, but we might be able to do it with a pop can. Maybe a larger, I don't want a huge cookie though. I don't think I could go any smaller, but I think I could go larger. As you might be able to do a star to where you fold it and bend it and fold it and bend it and fold it and bend it. That might work. Well, I experimented. I know that I can cut it in half, and so I'm happier with that as being a cookie cutter. But now I need to know how to get it into shape. And I could probably go get a pop can and play with it, but it's already 9:15. I think that this eventually would, see, I think I'm getting it enough into a circle with the shape just giving it a memory here. I have to work with. It's still going to open up without anything holding it, but I can tell as I'm working with it that it's becoming more pliable to, if it has a clasp on it somehow. I don't think glue would work. I think, but you know, they held those two pieces together with, where is it, with this paper tape. So it might just work with tape once you get it formed enough. I'm going to quit on that. I'm happy that I have experimented with at least getting a fold here. This is not sharp here because that's where the fold is. It's sharp over on this side. It'd make a nice cutter that way. It'd make a nice scraper too. I'm going to be careful with these pieces and set them aside for now. I'll get them out of my range of my hands here. And this piece. And I put that other piece way down away. I'll take my gloves out in the kitchen. I don't know if those gloves were completely necessary, but I was afraid I'd cut myself. All right, let's put my pliers back. And I'm going to get my, now I'm not going to use gloves for the dough. I've already cut some of my wax paper here, but I'll have to clean my desk again. So let's see how my dough is progressing here. I did add water to it, so I think it's pretty good. I think I'll work with this larger piece. And I had that little dough roller out, but he's here someplace. I get him out, and then I say I'm gonna keep him out, and then is this it? Here it is. And to get it nice and flat, I might be able to roll it between two pencils. Like that. Where's my other pencil? Now, here's a pencil. It's not quite as long. They're behind the Christmas tree. Are they there? No. I took them out in the other room, my pencils. I had a set of these. We'll just test it with this. I had that green one. He's down at the bottom. Is he down at the bottom? I want my green pencil. Here he is. All right, let's put all this back. My Angie bowl is overflowing. I have two Angie bowls and they're both overflowing. I need an Angie trunk. And it would overflow. All right, so I have the little roller. I have the two pencils. I have the dough. Probably should sprinkle some cinnamon on my table. I don't know if I want to do that or not. It probably wouldn't hurt. I think I'll take this up and put a clean piece down. My pencil's over here. Because I want to put a fresh piece down there. It makes a good paperweight. I'll spritz some more water on that. I find that if I get a lot of water on it and get it on there even, it helps. Just kind of spread it around, smush it around. Got a wet piece of paper there now. Wax paper's pretty cheap. I like the Reynolds kind. I don't like the kind that I get at the dollar store. I pay a little bit extra for the Reynolds wrap at the grocery store. Okay. So here's my roller. Here's my two pencils. Here's my dough. Where's my bird? My bird is there. This will be the last thing I do tonight, because I need to take these out and put them on parchment paper and take them out and cook them in the oven. I'm going to do that yet tonight. It is 9:21, so I got a big chunk though there, and it's pretty pliable. I I put water in there. I might need to spritz some more on it but it's pretty pliable. I don't know if I'll need all of this. Let's take half of it and put the rest back. I'm going to spritz some water on this to keep it. It's like working with a clay almost. Like red earth. Only it's cinnamon. It's cinnamon, flour, and salt. And I don't think I used any adhesive or anything like that. Your flour and your salt. If you look on my post tab about a week or so ago, you'll see a link to the recipe. And I guess I might put some more water on this too, because I'm going to roll it out. And when I found that when I put the water on it, if I kind of flatten it out enough, what I'll do is I get a little flat surface. See, it's kind of dry in there. And then I water it there, and then I fold it in on each other, and that will put some of that moisture on the inside. That's just me experimenting with it, but it's pretty pliable. Now I want to get it kind of in a rectangular form, and I kind of want to press it out. I don't want it that thick. I don't want it real thick. So if I press it and press it and press it, I don't want it ultra thin either. Probably as thin as my pencil, so it can be flattened out a lot more here. As much as I can with my hands. My eyeglasses are. See if I can't get it into like a rectangular shape. Or a square shape would work too. And let's pick it up and plop her over and thin her out some more. Smells good. And this is what I'm going for here. And they're pretty hard. I think I cooked them for a couple hours on like a 250, I think. And then I checked them and turned them over. They're a little curvy. Not too much though. I put a pan over it. I did not put parchment paper in between the pan that I put over and on the cookie, and it started to stick to the pan. I got it off, but if you put a pan over it, put some parchment paper between your pan and your dough. All right, I think that I can start rolling it. Let's turn it over one more time. And it's pretty pliable. I think maybe I can get about 4 birds. If I go this way, 1, 2, I think I can get about 4 birds out of before cutting it again. Let's put it this way. I don't know if that's what I meant to do. I meant to put it this way. Well, it's about a square, I guess. Alright, so here's my pencil. I think I need to push some of this dough over to the edge a little. It's kind of, with my hand, you know, it's not a flat dough. That's what I'm going to use my roller for. Where's my other pencil? That's good. And I'm just going to it might be smaller than my pencil. I'm going to get my pencils out of the way. I think it's smaller than my pencil. I'm just going to roll it out like this. And of course, you know, your edges are going to but I'm not going to cut clear to the edge anyway. So that's about a 1/4 inch, I think. I'm going to lift it up and flop it over. I'm going to turn it this way now. Now, it's thinner here on the edge, but I'm not going out to the edge. I think this is pretty good. So I'm going to take my birds. Let's see, I think that area is thinner. I'm going to put it, I think this is thinner, I think right in here. And I think I found out that I took my needle. Penelope, give me a needle. I took my needle to cut it. Was better than my knife. And I should cut this bird pattern out of a piece of cardboard, because I like the shape of the bird. I think it's exactly what I was going for. Now this bird may be thinner down here, but I think it will work. And this one, I'm going to put this way. And I think I'm going to avoid this area. I'm going to come up a little. Maybe I'll put them right in there. And that dough is moist enough it's holding my paper down. But I will say, your hands will get dry doing this. You want to have hand lotion handy. I've got dry skin the way it is. And if you have dry skin, you might want to take care of them with this. Put lotion on. And I'm making that bird's head a little bigger. Now, I did notice when this dried, I don't know how this is, the salt may have dissolved into this, but on the other bird, I noticed there was a salt residue on it. But I don't notice that here, and I don't know if that'll show up when I dry it. We'll see. It was just like a white area, and I thought it looked like it was the salt. And I don't know who's out there. I'm just talking as I go here. I'm talking like I was filming. So if you're saying something to me, I'm not hearing it. I'm sorry, but I think I'm going to, on that cookie cutter, I think I'm going to look at the same company, and if I can find some thinner stuff. They did say that was used for arts and crafts, though. But you probably have to be talented enough to know what you're doing with it. I think I need something a little bit thinner that I can shape. And I don't know, that was steel. I might look for some aluminum. I think I'll have enough to, and this side is pretty thick here. And I'll just get 4 birds on here. Now I made this dough about a week ago. I don't know what day. I could go look at my videos and see what day I made these. But if you keep it moist, I didn't freeze it. I just moistened it with that, like with the spritzer, like I showed you tonight. And I moistened it more than once. I checked it. I did not have it in an airtight container, but I did have plastic wrap around it. So I make a note that it doesn't dry out until you want it to. All right, now I'm going to take this off if I can. And that poor bird has a flat head. I think he's going to have a flat head. And let's just cut it here. And you can come in with water, and these rough edges, you can smooth those out. Use a paintbrush and smooth them out. Use your finger, use a Q-tip. I was going to buy Q-tips at the store, and my brother said, we got a whole package of them in there, and I said, but I've been using them. And he says, no, you got some up above. He said he didn't buy them. He said, you must have bought them. He said, I put them up above, on the top shelf of the medicine cabinet. So I didn't have to buy toothpicks. I had the toothpicks on my list and Q-tips, and he found both of them for me. Now this one's a little thinner on this side, but I think it'll be okay. And I'll have to clean my needle off before I give it back to Penelope. But it has a nice cinnamon smell to it. Penelope. I could probably dip this needle in water. Let's pull it this way. And this way. See if I can't pull that out. Come on. Yeah. Lift my bird up. and I'll smooth him out. He's got some rough feathers there. And this one's a little thin. You have to be careful if I want to use him. I'm going to set him up here. And I'm just using a big sewing needle and I'll come in and smooth out the edges here. I find that it works better than my knife. Could just be my imagination, but got a hole in that. Now, I have not made these for a very long time, so this is not the applesauce recipe. I didn't buy applesauce to make these. I made them with salt and flour. The recipe, link to the recipe is on my post tab. Probably you might have to scroll down a little for it if you're interested. You could probably put a wing on him, but we'll draw a wing on him after I get him out here. What time is it? 9:30. I might have time to do another 4. All right, let's lift him up. And I think what I did the last time is, let's get this dough and put it back with the other. And I think I'll squirt a little water in it to keep it moist. So when I do that, I flatten it out, just make a kind of a bowl shape. Just put a couple of squirts of water in it and then squeeze it together. And that'll moisten the inside out. You might want to do that a couple times. And that keeps your dough pliable. Because it's just food. You're playing with your food. It's flour and salt and cinnamon. All right, I'm going to wrap this back up with the other. And we'll get it out if I do another 4. But I want to shape these up. What did I do with the other? Oh, it's over here. Put this back in. My pen, my nice pen that I got to melt wax in. I haven't got the chance to melt my candles in that pan yet. I'm going to put this back in with. See how I've worked with this and how nice and pliable it is? Well, I put water on this, but it's a little bit stiffer. But I'm going to mix them together. And I think I'll have enough to do 4 more. But we'll see. I might fiddle around too much here. Now I'm going to take a paintbrush. I did wash them. Let me take a paintbrush. We'll just use this one. And I'm going to smooth out these edges a little. I'm going to put a little water on my table here. Dip my brush in it. Lift him up. And I'm just going to smooth out the edges. Might want to do it with your finger too. It doesn't have to be, you know, he's a bird. He's going to have rough feathers. But we don't want it to be too rough. And they'll, you know, these aren't going to be perfect. Of course, he's fallen to the shape of my finger here. Now, I want to, I'm going to set him back down. I want to put him on a flat surface. What do I have? I get something over in one of my books here. A stiff book. A stiff book. I have this, The Pageant of Christmas. I'm going to put wax paper over this. I want something to carry him out in the other room with. Set him here. And I'm just kind of pressing the edges with my fingers. He doesn't have to be perfect. Let's give him a wing here with my needle, just impressing a wing here. I don't know if you guys can see. I'm pretty far away. Sorry about that, I didn't zoom in, but if you're on a mobile phone, I know you can zoom in. And I think you can with your desktop, but I'm not totally sure. I haven't used my desktop for a long time. So we're going to give him a wing there. Or maybe we'll just bring it way down, and then I'm going to give him some tail feathers. And I think that's all I did on the other one. Just did some impressions. Oh, I have to give him an well, the hollow in the head, where I put my eye, is where the string, but I'm not going to string these. I don't think I'll put a hole in there. I'm not going to string these up because I'm going to put them in that wreath. So I'm not going to make a big hole. I'm just going to put where I want my eye to go here. So these are not going to be hung up. So let me do the others. This one is so thin, I'm almost tempted not to. He's almost too thin here. See how that's drying there? I think that's the salt. If I might decrease the salt and increase the flour. I noticed that the salt, where's my paintbrush? I think all my water went underneath. I just kind of want to smooth out the edges a little. This one's awful thin, but he might cook up good. We'll go ahead and do him. See, he's dry in there. He's got salt on them. He's got salt. I should have a little lid that I'm putting this water in, but I don't. But I think I bought some of that glitter, that glass glitter. I think I'm going to put some of that on these. I'm a little worried about his tail here. But we're just going to, I was worried about it on my other one, and it cooked up fine. Let's give him a wing. He's a little thin. He's a little scrawny fellow. But he said, I love life. I'm gonna make it through, even though I'm scrawny. You just cook me up and see how I turn out. Yeah, he's not turning out there. All right, let's give him some tail feathers. And let's give him an eye. His head is a little pointy. He was on the end. And again, I'm not going to hang these. So I'm putting eyes on them, but I'm not going to hang these. That picture out of the way. I might go a little later than 10. I think I'm going to try to make those other 4. And then I'll have 8 cookies for my 8 cinnamon cookies for my wreath. And after they all cook up, I'll decorate them. Let me show you how they look. I'm going to have to set them down. Finish him up setting down here. Yeah, I think I need to adjust the salt in this because I can tell even it's drying out there, it's turning white. I don't think that's the flour. I think it's the salt. I could probably taste it, but I'm not going to. Oh dear. This one's a little weird, I have to say. All right, we'll put an eye there, and we'll give him a. See, his wing has to go this way. No, this way. And we'll give him some feathers, tail feathers here. One more. Then we'll roll out some more. And I did not try to smooth out the back. The back will be the back, it won't show. I'm just trying to smooth out the front here. And I might try to shape this head better when I cut them. They're kind of got a pointy head. It's a woodpecker. Member of the cardinal family. We're going to face this. We got one facing the wrong way. Or the opposite way. I wouldn't say it's wrong. I'm going to move this. Then I'm going to put them in parchment paper when I put them in the oven. I'm not going to leave them on this wax paper. The wax paper is just here to... And I wouldn't say that my dough is perfectly flat, but it's flat enough. Let's draw a wing. And these will probably be cooked by Sunday night. I can show them to you Sunday night. Maybe we'll decorate them Sunday night. All right. Put my needle. I don't want to give it back to Penelope yet. Let's put these aside. These are going to go out in the kitchen. He might have a worm in his mouth. You would think that some of these things would break off, but I find that they cook up. The others I thought cooked up real nice. I broke the star when I had a craft latch, but I think I can tuck it. I just broke a leg off. I think I could tuck it underneath of the, oh shoot, hold on, just about dropped it. There we go. I think I can tuck the broken arm of the star inside of the wreath branches. Let's roll out. Let's see, what time is it? I might go a little after 10. It's 9:52. I want to make 4 more. I think I'm going to put another piece of wax paper. I'm going to throw this away. I'm going to put another piece of wax paper down. Might as well. Oh, it's pretty rough here. It is managing to keep my desk pretty clean, but with those holes in there. Alrighty. My hands are so dry from handling that. Spritz my water. Where did it go? Where'd my water go to? Up here. Whoops. Uh-oh. Well, I about pulled my camera down. That would be a disaster. I think I got my other one working. My one where the phone wouldn't expand zoom out any further than 0.5. I think I dropped it again. I think it fixed itself. I haven't tried to stream with it. I've used the back camera and it seems to work fine. And that's what was not working. I'm going to try to stream with it as a test. Let's see, not tonight. I want my wax paper. Oh, I got an ad. Am I still going live? Hi. I didn't see me in my, it flopped to another video on my notepad. I must have bumped it. I'll have to sit and fix that before I... Let me clean my hands a little. I'm watching some movie about a mom passing. Rocky Kanaki. I'm watching Rocky Kanaki. How did that happen? YouTube turned me off. Let me get back in here. Says I'm live. Says I got 19 of you out there. Hi, Artful Esther. Welcome in, Esther. And Carol. Welcome in, ladies. I have not been following chat. I kind of want to get this. I want to roll out some more birds here. I kind of like to do 8 birds. And this is pretty moist. This is pretty moist. I don't think I'll have to add water. Well, I might add a little because I can tell when I do the indent the bowl shape. Let's put a little water in there. I might want that again. And what I do when I add the water to the dough is I kind of on the inside and I just give it a couple squirts. Don't have to put a lot, and then I just sandwich it together and knead it in. And that kind of moistens it on the inside. You might want to do that, because depending on how this dough is not really dry, but it dries out fast. You can see on those bird wings, I don't know if you guys could see it or not, but those bird wings, after I rolled them out, started to dry. All right. So now I want to kind of get this in a, and I think what I'll do, this back off of my desk here, is kind of flatten this with my pen. so I don't get this too thick on the, too thin on the sides. I want to, and I'll roll it out thinner, but I want to keep my ends here thick. I don't want them to be thinner than the, or my pencils. I should get me some dowels. Now I do think I want my dough thinner than my pencils though. Let's push this back in. I need enough for 4 birds. See, the sides tend to go thin, and I want to avoid that. This is not pie crust. Let's flip it over. No, it's pretty thick yet. It's thicker than I want for my birds. I think I have more dough here than what I had before. Smooth it down. Although that might be, I might keep my birds this size. Let's shake this up a little more. So it gets thinner on the sides for some reason. I don't know why. I'm not an expert. All right, I'm going to give it one more swoosh of the pen here. If it were the paint brushes, I could understand because the paint brushes are, but these are the same size. We just won't use the ends. I think that's good. Now I'm going to turn it this way. And where's my birdies? I think I'm done with these. And my needle. And I think I want to make his head a little rounder. Now I might have to cut these a little, because they're a little thicker than my other ones, so I'm going to have to cut them a little deeper, I think. And maybe I'll cut them as I go. Cut the sides off here and move it. Yeah. Well, this dough is thicker, so I'll probably have to cook these and these a little bit longer. It's on the inside here. I'd love to have a cookie cutter this shape. Talk to my brother and see if he can make me some cookie cutters. You say you'd never use them. You've already done your stuff. All right, let's see how that bird fares. He's a little rough because he's deeper. He's thicker than the others. All right, we're going to move on. I'm going to do this one this way. Now, I'm going to move it down a little. I need more headroom. No, I cut the paper there. That's okay. Use that paintbrush to smooth out the edges a little. I'll bring it down a little. The heads aren't going to be that beautiful, but by the time you get them decorated up and put in the wreath, it isn't going to be that much of a pain. This dough is a little thicker. I don't know if I like it this thick. It's kind of hard to cut through. Whoops. Getting off track there. Got a paper on there. One more. I could tell my dough is getting thinner on this side. So I'm going to put him up a little. It probably wouldn't hurt to moisten this needle a little, might help as the dough dries out, as you work with the dough and as it sits out in the air. But I'm on my last bird, so I'm not going to worry about it. Oh, my pattern's moving around on me. I think we got some wind. He's a little skinnier bird. It goes this way. What way you putting my wing? What did I do to him? I started putting his wing the wrong way. It's okay. No. Haven't put eyes in them yet. I haven't done anything. I think I'm going to have to dip my needle in some water. But before I do that, Let's put this away. Because see, it's getting dry. Look how dry it is around the edge there. Put some water on that. And hold it away from my birds. My golly, I think we got some wind. I can hear it blowing in there. Now I'm going to wrap that up in that cellophane, and I could make a star or something, but it's getting late. I want to finish these birds. And I got this and another hunk of cinnamon dough out of what I made a couple weeks ago. All right. I'm going to put that in the pan. And I've got another book out here. Let's move this one. That's a hole in my wax paper. There's my wax paper. The fan's blowing too, and that might dry this out a little just because the fan is blowing. Now let's do this. I didn't want to put my book on that wax paper. This way and put another sheet on top. Keep my book clean. All right, my paintbrush. Let's kind of moisten the edges here. I'm not going to worry about them too much. They're just playing here. I'm just playing. Might moisten his beak a little. He'll dry out again, but all right. Now I need to put my needle in between there. What'd you do that for? You silly lady. I'm gonna moisten my needle. Meri's resting her needle. But I think it'll make smoother lines in here. Smooth these. edges out a little. They're not going to be perfect, but I'm not looking for perfection. You want perfection? Go to somebody else's house. I'm sure there's a lot of perfect people out there who can do this stuff beautifully. I'm not one of them. All right, let's put him down. Aw, poor little birdie, he's drying out. He's drying out on the edges. Let's give him some water. Says, I'm thirsty. And I didn't do the eye. And the wing. And the last one. He's drying out too on the edge. I'm going to add some water to it first. Yeah, I'm sure the flour and the salt both discolor this a little. But if you add decorations and maybe paint on where it's, I think it'll be okay. I might try one because I bought 2 big jars of cinnamon, and I might try one with applesauce, but I need to use up what I have first. Well, I gotta sit this down to do this. There we go. There we go. So, let me clean up my mess here a little. And I told Penelope I wouldn't give her a dirty needle back. So let's clean my needle fast. Put my brush in the water. And clean my needle. With hand sanitizer. Probably wouldn't hurt her to have some cinnamon in her, but now, let's clean my hands a little. They're dry. hand sanitizer is drying them out too, but I'll go put hand lotion on. I buy that Eucerin. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that brand, but it's a moisturizer. And I want to show you how these are drying out. They're really drying out fast, which I guess is a good thing. But I've noticed these are drying more than the others did. These are really drying out. But it could be that my dough was dry. It sat around for a while. Can you see how dry they're getting here? Look at the color, how they're drying out. And I'll probably put a lot of glitter on these, that German glass glitter. We'll see. We'll see when when I work with this Sunday night. We'll see how they cook up. I wanna clean this side of the house. So, it is 10:24. It's not too bad. That's about what time I always say I'm going to leave at 10, and I never quite make it at 10. I'll put some more water on my hands here. To buy me some more towels tomorrow for in here. So I'm going to go and put these on a cookie sheet and put them on parchment paper on a cookie sheet and cook them in the oven for at least an hour, maybe 2, depends on how tired. I'm not real tired. So I want to thank you guys for coming. Thank you very much. Let me kind of look at chat here. Let me refresh my chat and I'll say goodnight to you guys. Chat filter. All messages. Joyce is here. She says great. Carol says the birds came out nice. Well, I think that once they're cooked and decorated, I think I'll be pretty happy with them. I'd like to have a cookie cutter of my little bird, but I'm going to cut him out of a stronger paper. And just to show you here, here's a finished bird where I used fine liner on him. But I'm going to put glass glitter, I think. I bought all that glass glitter from Ranger. It was on sale, and I last time I looked, it was still on sale out there. If you go to rangerink.com and look at their sale tab, scroll down, and you might find a little round of it sells for about $2 on sale, but I'm sure it costs more. They're probably trying to get rid of what they have. Let's see, Joyce, good night. Carol, thanks for coming in. Esther. Hi, Lori Beth. It's good to see you. They're talking to Lori Beth out there wanting to know how the puppies are. Joyce Boring, Artful Esther, Artful Esther, Artful Esther. I don't see Lori Beth, but I'm sure she's in here. Mary, would you message me your address, please? Yes, I will. I'll do that. I'm trying to think what I can find you on Beth's group. I'll find you on Beth's group and then message you from there. I will do that after the stream, Esther. Let's see. Carol says, Esther, yes. Yes, hi, Esther. These are great. Oh, thank you, Allie. Hi, Allie K. It's good to see you. Thanks for popping in, Allie. Allie, did you get your stickers yet? I sent you guys the second to last set of stickers. You should get them pretty soon. I think I sent them, gosh, I think I sent them last Thursday. I think. Oh, it might have been Tuesday. I can't remember when I sent them. Good night, Meri. Teresa says. Teresa was in here. Carol is here. Allie K. Sylvia was here. If you're out there yet, Sylvia, hi. Legia was here earlier. Some of the early birds left. There's Lori Bethy way up above. Hi, Lori. And Christina Scrappin Stitchery. And Vanessa and Lori Beth. If you guys are still out there, hello, hello. Vanessa was here. Christina Scrappin Stitchery. She's new to me. Sharon Lombard was here. Oh my goodness, you guys, I need to stop more often and review chat. Here's where Christina popped in, and I can't go up any further. All right, well, good night, everybody. Have a great rest of the week. I will be back on Sunday night at 6 p.m. and we'll see how these birds cooked. We'll see how the birds cooked. Have a great weekend. Bye. Remember, it's Christmas week. Go enjoy it. Bye.